بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وعملا وهدى وتقى ورشادا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم فقهنا في الدين وعلمنا التأويل. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع ومن قلب لا يخشع ومن نفس لا تشبع ومن دعوة لا يستجاب لها. نعوذ بك اللهم من هؤلاء الأربعة. أما بعد، فحياكم الله جميعا. Welcome to the fifth, I guess, yeah, or maybe the fourth, if I'm not getting it wrong. درس in explanation of مختصر النحو المفيد. طيب, in the previous lesson, one second. Now, in the previous lesson, we learned about the ضمائر. طبعا, we have so far, يعني where are we standing exactly right now? We have learned about the types of word, يعني that is أنواع الكلمة اسم وفعل وحرف. So we know how to identify an ism, we know how to identify a فعل, we know how to identify a حرف to some extent. Then we learned different classifications of ism. So we have learned so far the انقسام الاسم إلى مذكر ومؤنث. So we know how to identify مذكر and مؤنث. When an ism is مذكر, when it is مؤنث. Then we learned انقسام الاسم إلى مفرد ومثنى وجمع. The classification of ism into singular, dual, and plural. So this was the second issue or second مسألة, المسألة الثانية التي درسناها, that we studied. Then we began in the last verse المسألة الثالثة, that is انقسام الاسم إلى معرفة ونكرة. The classification of ism into معرفة and nakira. So معرفة was a definite noun and nakira was an indefinite noun. In معرفة and nakira, we learned that معرفة can be of 6 types, or معرفة is 6 things. The first is الضمير, that is the pronoun. The second is العلم, that is the proper noun. The third is اسم الإشارة, demonstrative pronoun, ذلك, هذا. The fourth is الاسم الموصول, نحو الذي, التي, الذين. Fifth is المعرف بال, the nakira that has been converted into a definite noun by adding al to it. And lastly, المضاف إلى معرفة. So we said معرفة is 6 things: الضمير, العلم, اسم الإشارة, الاسم الموصول, المعرف بال, والمضاف إلى معرفة. Upon learning the 6 different ma'arif, we went into further details in each of these, for each of these types. So we said الضمير, the ضمير has some further, it's further divided into يعني other types and other أنواع. So we said الضمير ينقسم إلى قسمين. So we have بارز and we have مستتر. And then بارز we have متصل and منفصل. And then متصل منفصل both are مرفوع منصوب مجرور. It's getting difficult, but it's going to be fine, inshallah. With time, it's going to get easy. So we said الضمير, مستتر, and بارز. And بارز is either متصل or منفصل. متصل طبعا means that is connected and joined. طيب, متصل يعني that is something that is connected. And منفصل separate. Then we went on to give or mention the متصل مرفوع. يعني the ضمائر that are مرفوع, that are in subjective case and are متصل. So we didn't study this table as such, but this is supposed to be memorized. And there's nothing to be explained as such in this. There's more to be memorized. So we said these are the ضمائر that occur as متصل with the فعل. طبعا connected to what? متصل connected to what? Connected to here, يعني متصل connected to either the فعل or the اسم. So when they are connected and joined with the فعل, this is how they appear. فعلت, فعلنا, فعلت, فعلتما, تم, أعلى, the ألف, فعلوا, يفعلون, يفعلان, يفعلون, يفعلان, وهكذا. طيب. We also had mentioned a type of ضمير that is mustatir, that is hidden. And in the very same table, we mentioned all of those cases in which the ضمير is hidden. And that's only 4 places or 5 places. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 places. أفعل, here the ضمير is not bariz. It's not apparent. It's hidden. Where is it hidden? What is the hidden ضمير here? أفعل أنا. So that is why when we translate this sentence أفعل, we would not say doing. We would rather say I am doing. Why would you translate it along with the I, the pronoun? Because this أفعل contains the pronoun, but it is hidden. It's not being shown. Likewise, when we come to translate نفعل, we would say we are doing. Where did we bring this we from? Where did we bring this we from? From the hidden ضمير that is within نفعل. طيب. Likewise in يفعل, how would we translate يفعل? He is doing. Where did we bring the he from? From the ضمير that is hidden within يفعل, which is هو. So هو means he. وهكذا. In others cases, the ضمير is apparent. So we don't have to imagine a hidden ضمير in, for example, in فعلت or فعلت. We say I did. Where did we bring this I from? It is this to that translates into I. فعلنا, we did. Where did we bring the we from? It is this na that translates into we. فعلت, you did. Where did we bring the you from? It's this ta that translates into you. فعلتما, you too. فعلتم, you all. وهكذا. In فعلا, for example, the alif is the letter that, or the ضمير, the pronoun that denotes they both. Likewise in فعلوا, it's the واو. وهكذا. And likewise. In أكل, there was alif. There were 2 alifs. So how do we do it with أن? أكل. أنا with أنا. طيب. Okay. ممتاز. طيب. How do you do it? You say آكل. أنا آكل. أنا آكل. So you make it into a alif with a mad. أنا آكل. Because you cannot say أكل. It's difficult to say أكل. In the second person and third person verbs, you say تأكل ويأكل. But when it comes with hamza, it's difficult to say أكل. So you say آكل. آكل. The 2 hamzas add up and they make an alif mad. أو ألف ممدودة. طيب لحظة. Okay. are the pronouns that are مرفوع and متصل يعني which connect with the أفعال, are these clear inshallah, or do these need يعني further explanation?
Sheikh, quick question. Do you have to say ana if you say akulu?
You don't have to say أنا. Why? Because in akulu there is أنا already. There already is an أنا in akulu. Where is it? It's the hidden ضمير. أفعل, it has within itself a ضمير that is hidden. ضمير مستتر تقديره أنا. So you don't have to say أنا. You don't have to say أنا آكل. However, يعني sometimes you intend to add emphasis, or for any other reason you might use it along with أنا. يعني it is I who eats. أنا آكل مثلا. أنا آكل يعني I'm the one who eats this. So you might يعني use it to add emphasis. That's a different case. However, it is not required because أنا is there within the فعل. It's hidden. However, it's hidden. طيب. The question was that do these ضمائر, do these need further explanation? Are there any doubts with regards to these?
Allah clear, Sheikh.
طيب, now يعني inshallah we'll know whether it's clear or not by asking you questions. So for example, يعني we have this فعلنا. I really hope that the students have the papers in their hands, or these tables. This is for المؤنث. طيب, we have فعلنا. The question is, how would we translate فعلنا? What is the correct translation of فعلنا? نعم.
They female did.
طيب, they did. Okay. A sister says she did. Okay, sister, but cannot be she, because she is used for a singular يعني female. Yeah, أحسنت. They did. فعلنا, they did. طيب يا أخي عبد الأحد, where did you bring this they from?
From noon.
From the noon. أحسنت. So this is the ضمير that we're talking about. فعلنا. This is the ضمير that we are referring to. طيب. Let's give an example. طيب. افعلي. Okay. افعلي. How are you going to translate افعلي?
Do it, but she is like hidden. Like you're talking to.
Yeah, because now in English, the ضمير is mustatir now. So in do you have this ضمير that you do it. So now in English we have a ضمير mustatir. شايف? In Arabic we have it baris, but in English we have it mustatir. It's hidden in English. Subhanallah. Huh? طيب, we are alhamdulillah studying نحو of English and Arabic. طيب. Do the work. أحسنت. طيب, do it. But we cannot translate the ya, because in English the ya, the ضمير is mustatir. So we cannot say do the work, or you do it. That's difficult. طيب. نأتي إلى مثلا نفعل. How would we translate نفعل?
We did.
لا, we did خطأ.
We are doing.
We do it or we are doing it. We do it or we are doing it. Both are correct, depending on يعني. طيب, where did you bring the we from?
The noon.
The noon خطأ. There is no, the noon is not the ضمير.
It's hidden, but it's
hidden.
fine.
أحسن. So say نحن. Noon is something else, and that's why we يعني did not make the noon the ضمير. We could have said the noon is ضمير, but we did not make it the ضمير for some reason. شايف? We didn't make it the ضمير for some reason. عرفت يا أخي? So yes, it is an علامة of جمع, but it's not the ضمير. It's not the ضمير. طيب, we are doing it. We female طيب are doing it. طيب, ممتاز. Okay. فعلت. كيف نترجم فعلت؟
She did.
طيب, where did we bring the she from?
It's hidden.
It's hidden. What is its تقدير and what is the ضمير that is hidden? Its تقدير is هي. هي. ممتاز. أحسنت. طيب ممتاز. Okay. Let's move on to the ضمائر of the مذكر. طيب we translated most of these, but inshallah I hope that you don't have them translated in your papers. So let's say for example فعلتم. How would we translate فعلتم? Look for فعلتم in the paper and tell me how would we translate فعلتم?
You two are doing.
Not to فعلتم.
Oh, فعلتم. فين فعلتم؟ Oh, فعلتم.
You all did
doing.
it. أحسنت. You all did. فعلتم ماضي and it's for جمع. You all did. طيب من أين أتينا ب you? Where did we bring this you all from? تم. أحسنت. ممتاز. ممتاز. طيب مرة ممتاز. Okay. طيب let's take for example no, let's say يفعلون. يفعلون. What is the translation of يفعلون?
They are doing.
They are doing. طيب they are doing. من أين أتينا ب they? Where did we get this they from?
Hidden?
لا شوف انظر إلى الورقة. واو. طيب not واو and noon, only vowel. It's only vowel. A sister says the wow, but it's not the noon, it's just the wow. Just the wow. So the wow denotes the pronoun. Why don't we say that noon is included in the pronoun, or why didn't we include it in the pronoun? That is for some reason that will be inshallah clear inshallah in the next issue, in the next mas'ala. Inshallah it'll be clear بإذن الله تعالى. طيب okay, now we have for example تفعلين from the مؤنث. تفعلين. What is the meaning of تفعلين, or how do we translate تفعلين for the مؤنث?
She is doing.
لا خطأ.
I am doing.
لا خطأ أيضا. You are doing. You are doing. طيب where did we bring the you from? The تاء. لا خطأ. ليس من التاء. The one that is in red color, that is the ضمير. The يا. نعم نعم the يا. See, why have we made it in red in color? Because that, in order to denote the ضمير. The one in red is the ضمير. It's the ya that is the ضمير. It's the ya that is the ضمير. Yes, the ta would give you an idea whether it's being used for a female or a male. Yes, but it's not the ضمير. What are the reasons behind this? Why are we making things so complicated? Why are we just making some of the letters the ضمير while ignoring the others? These are reasons that will be that you will know inshallah later on, and many other reasons that are best known only to the grammarians, the Nahwiyin. But this is how it is. This is how it is, and this is how we will work. Let's say now, for example, تفعلان for مخاطب. تفعلان for مخاطب. مخاطب المؤنث. Second person مؤنث. What is the translation of تفعلان?
You two are doing.
طيب من أين أتينا ب you two?
ألف.
ألف. بس ألف. That's it. ممتاز. ممتاز. This is the ضمير. This is the pronoun. ألف. Okay. The تفعلان for غائب. The تفعلان for غائب. The one that is here. The تفعلان for غائب. What is the translation of this?
They two are doing.
طيب they two are doing. They two are doing. But من أين أتينا ب they two? Where did we
Lam
bring
alif.
this from? The alif. No, sorry, the lam is mistakenly, it was made red. It's only the alif. I have to adjust that inshallah. So it's only the alif again. But sometimes Microsoft Word does not, sometimes there are typos and mistakes that come into while writing these things. So only the alif. It's only the alif that is the ضمير. That is the ضمير. Is that clear? Is it getting clearer, inshallah?
I'm sure.
Yes, inshallah.
طيب, ممتاز. Okay. Now, we'll further practice this with the next, inshallah, mas'ala. Let's move on. Now we have متصل, that is mansoob, يعني in an objective case, or majroor in genitive case. What is mansoob? When it is used as an object. Like in English, as we have given this example before, in subjective case we use he, but in objective case we use him. So we say, for example, he is playing, but we'd say I saw him. So now in an objective case we use the word him instead of he, and in subjective case we use the word he. Likewise in Arabic, ya ikhwani, there are different ضمائر, different pronouns for objective case. What are those pronouns for objective case? Those are the ones mentioned in the following table. So for example, if it is you who is the object, you will use the word ya. So we'll say ضربني, ضربنا, us, ضربنا, us. ضربك, ضربكما, ضربكم. Likewise for ghaib, third person, ضربه, ضربهما, ضربهم. Coming to muannath, for mutakallim, first person, ضربني, ضربنا, us, ضربنا. Same for muthanna and jama'. For mukhatab, second person, ضربك, ضربكما, وضربكن. طيب. Coming to the third person, ضربها, ضربهما, وضربهن. It's a little confusing. It's going to get clear. The more you practice, the easier it will get, inshallah. The more you practice, the easier it will get. طيب. Here, ya ikhwani and akhawati, we have mentioned the ضرب only as an example. And it's not necessary that always the fi'l, when it is used with an object, is going to be ضرب or is going to be فعل. No, there could be different af'al used. But in order to simplify things and make it easy, we use the simplest form of fi'l, which has no additions, which has no ta, which has no ta'mim, which has no wa, which has no dhamir. So we try to use the simplest of forms of the verb in order for us to understand this better. But when it comes to let's say but when it comes to normal usage, you would use one of these af'al along with one of these ضمائر منصوبة. So for example, you want to say I hit him. You want to say I hit him. So from here, you would use فعلت. طيب, you would use ضربت. And from the objects, you would choose for him the who. So how would you form this I hit him? You would say ضربته. So you mix the two forms, you mix the two sighas. So you took ضربته from the table above, that is for the subject, and for the object you came down to the next table and you chose the who, and hence this you made a sentence. You said I hit him. Are you getting the concept?
Yes.
How you are supposed to form the subject and the object for words? So you have to choose the suitable form for the subject from the table above, and then when it comes to the object, you're going to choose the suitable pronoun from the table below, from the table of the ضمائر متصلة منصوبة. So now let me give you some questions. Let's say I want to say, I hope that the papers are in the hands of the students so that they could look into them and then give an answer to me. So for example, if I say she hit her, how would I translate this? Or how would I put it in Arabic? She hit her. What do I have to choose from above? For she hit, what will I choose for she hit? Which فعل؟
ضربتها.
ضربت فعلت. أحسنت. طيب. This is the form that we will be using for she hit. فعلت. We would replace it with the ضرب. طيب. And now when I want to say she hit her. So what do I choose for her?
ها.
ها. طيب. Where is the ha? It's right here. It's here. ضربها. ممتاز. So if I want to say she hit her in Arabic, I chose فعلت from above, and from below I chose ha. So I made the sentence ضربتها. ضربتها. Is this getting يعني is it inshallah يعني easy to understand? ضربتها. ممتاز. طيب. ما في مشكلة. Okay, let me give you another sentence. For example, they, يعني the men, they are, let's say, hitting, present tense, مضارع. They are hitting him. طيب. How am I going to translate this into Arabic? Okay, someone says yes, inshallah.
يضربونهم.
First we will choose يفعلون for the غائب. They, third person, they are male, مذكر, جمع because they are multiple. So we will be choosing يفعلون. So with ضرب it will become يضربون. It will become يضربون. Now when it comes to the object, we will have to choose the object that is for him. What is the object for him? It's who.
Who.
Hence, we would how would you put this in Arabic? We put this in Arabic by saying
يضربونه.
يضربونه. أحسنت. ممتاز. يضربونه. ممتاز. طيب, is it getting clear إن شاء الله? Is it getting يعني واضح إن شاء الله?
Yes, واضح.
طيب, let me give you one last example inshallah, and then I'll give this to you as an exercise later on. For example, you want to say she is, or no, you want to say you as a female. Yani you, the one you're addressing is a female. So you want to say in Arabic, you for a female are, let's say, let's use something better than hitting. Enough of hitting, enough of this violence. What do we have? You, okay. You are, but I think daraba is the simplest one. So you are hitting, them for female again. You are hitting them. طيب. So when it comes to the subject, we'll have to choose you, يعني مخاطب, مؤنث female, مخاطب. One second. First of all, you is for مخاطب. Then we go into, it's in the bracket mentions that we are addressing a female, so we go into مؤنث. In مؤنث, we are looking for singular مخاطب, مفرد, singular, and you are hitting This is present tense. It's not past tense. So it's مضارع. So we go to تفعلين. When we reach تفعلين, we replace the fa, the ain, and the lam with dad, ra, and ba, which are the root letters for hitting. We replace these with da, ra, and ba, and hence we have the verb along with its subject. So we have the verb along with the subject, تضربين. تضربين. Okay, now ahsant, someone has mentioned the correct answer in the chat, but still I'm not going to mention it, so that it's easy for us to, we learn how to form these words. Right. Once I'm done with تضربين, now I'm going to look for the subject, any subject, for the objective case of the pronoun. So I'm saying that you are hitting them, the females. Them, okay. Mu'annath, because it's female. Them is jam'. So I go to the plural. And it's also, them is the third person. It's not the first person, it's not the second person. It's the third person. So it's here. Hunna. If that is the case, so I had the word with the subject, تضربين. And now I have the object that is hunna. So I add them up. And hence, you are hitting them equals to تضربين hunna. Why is it not تضربين? تضربين. You mean تضربين? Or that is something related to sarf. That is not going to be taught in this book, inshallah, in the next book. Why the af'al have different harakas? Why not تضربين like تفعالين? Why are we saying تضربين? Why do we say تشرب but we say تأكل, we don't say تأكل? All of this, inshallah, will be learnt in sarf, will be learnt in morphology in sarf. Right now, we are just studying the structure of the sentence along with the endings of the words. So that is why, inshallah, you learn this later on. Bidnillahi ta'ala. Why is there a difference? For now, you have to depend upon your upon your memory, or what you have heard of the words, or what you read in the Quran, how you read them. You find daraba yadribu in the Quran, you don't find it yadrabu. So you have to depend on your memory for now. Inshallah, you will learn the principles related to this later on. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. طيب. Okay, is this clear so far, ya ikhwani and ya akhawati? Is it clear? Bi'idhnillah?
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Fine. So all this requires from us is lots of practice. That's it. The concept is clear, inshallah, but it requires from us lots of practice. And as a start, you can do one thing, and that is you could just avoid and ignore the word forms for muthanna, in order to simplify things for yourself. So when you practice, just practice with the mufrad and jam'. Practice with the mufrad and jam'. And avoid and ignore the muthanna for now. Once you have done the mufrad and jam' properly, you can then move on to muthanna. Right? Once you have mastered the mufrad and jam', you can move on to muthanna. But if you take the muthanna and the mufrad and the jam' as a beginner, it's going to be a little difficult for you to accommodate all of that in your brain. So this is an advice. As a starter, you could start with only with mufrad and jam', master them, then move on to the muthanna later on. Likewise, with regards to the subject, avoid for now with regards to the object, avoid the objective pronouns for the muthanna for now, and only focus on mufrad and jam'. And this way, inshallah, later on, with time, you can move on to the muthanna as well. طيب. خلاص. Okay. Now moving on to the ضمائر that are separate, that are منفصلة. الضمائر المنفصلة المرفوعة. So sometimes the ضمائر, the pronouns are mentioned connected with the fi'l, and sometimes the ضمائر are mentioned separate as a separate words. So for example, يعني if there is a nominal sentence, جملة اسمية, you would mention the ضمير separately. So you would say هو مثلا عاقل, or let's say هو ذاهب, he is going. Right? Now in this sentence, because here there is no fi'l in this sentence, so the subject, the pronoun that we use for the subject is a pronoun that is munfasil, a separate word. So you wouldn't say ذهبت. لا. The to is specific for the af'al. The to, the ta, the tum, the tunna, all of these subjective pronouns that are muttasil, that join, they join with the af'al. They are specific to the af'al. When we come out of the af'al, when we use the subjective pronouns for something with something other than the af'al, then we would use the ضمائر منفصلة. The ضمائر منفصلة. منفصلة يعني separate, not joined, not connected. ضمائر منفصلة. But what are these ضمائر منفصلة? For example, if someone asks you, who are you? You'd say أنا كذا. مثلا أنا مسعد. I wouldn't say مسعدت. خطأ. مسعد is not a فعل. So you cannot say مسعدت. خطأ. I would use a ضمير منفصل that is أنا مسعد مثلا. أو نحن طلاب العلم. We are seekers of knowledge. You wouldn't say طلاب العلم. خطأ. The na is specific to the فعل ماضي, for example. فعلنا, ذهبنا, شربنا. Here in this sentence, since there is no فعل, I would use a ضمير منفصل. So I would say نحن طلاب العلم مثلا. طيب. Likewise, for example, يعني you're talking to someone and you're asking him, where are you from? من أين أنت? طيب. You wouldn't say من أين تا. لا, the ta is specific for the أفعال. Here we don't have any فعل. So we're saying من أين أنت. So we have to use a subjective pronoun that is منفصل. That is منفصل. That is separate. طيب. What are these pronouns that are منفصل? These are, and most of us, alhamdulillah, know many of these, hopefully. مثلا for مفرد, for myself, I would use أنا. For us, نحن. طيب. Let's write this down. I. We. You. You all. مثلا. He. Them. She. Again, them. Auntie is also you in English. Antunna. You. All. أنا. I. نحن. We. عرفتم يا شباب؟ Is that clear إن شاء الله؟
Yes, inshallah.
طيب. This is just to give you an idea for now. Just know how the ضمائر are, or how the different types of ضمائر are. Inshallah, if there is any confusion with regards to how to use them, this can be solved later on, inshallah. With time and with reading of Arabic texts, inshallah, this will be solved بإذن الله تعالى. طيب. These are the ضمائر المنفصلة that are مرفوعة. That are مرفوعة. طيب. when it comes to ضمائر منفصلة, we also have another type. That is ضمائر منفصلة, but they are objective case. They are in objective case. Sometimes we need to use the ضمير as a munfasil even in objective case. So for example, in the Quran, in Surah Al-Fatiha, the asl is to say نعبدك ونستعينك. This is the asl, because we are addressing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so we use the objective case for singular male, second person. نعبدك ونستعينك, because it came along with a fi'l, because it is coming and it's joined to a fi'l. But for some reason, we had to put the pronoun before the fi'l. For some reason, which we have discussed before, we had to put the pronoun before the fi'l. So instead of saying نعبدك, can we say كنعبد وكنستعين? Can we say كنعبد وكنستعين?
No.
No.
طيب, what do we do now? Now, because we are using it before the fi'l, we cannot connect it to the fi'l. Is there any form of pronoun that we can use separately from the fi'l?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have to use the type or the type of ضمير منفصل منصوب that is separate, that is منفصل. So we used إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. One second يا شباب. طيب يا شباب. So إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. So when we had to put the ضمير before the fi'l, we couldn't use the ضمير متصل for the منصوب. We couldn't use the kaf fatha. So we had to bring another form of ضمير that is منفصل, that is إياك. طيب, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran مثلا وإياي فاتقون وإياي فاتقون وإياي فاتقون. طيب, يعني فاتقون. طيب, here يا شباب, had we put this ضمير, طبعا there is ضمير here as well. يعني Allah, here it's mentioned twice. فاتقون, there is a kasra on the noon, so which denotes the ya. Then there is a ya there, which has been يعني omitted for some reason. But let's say we did not have إياي, and we wanted to use the ضمير متصل. How would we say فاتقوا? How would we complete the sentence? فاتقوا
Ni.
فاتقوني. أحسن. فاتقوني. فاتقوني. This is how we would have put it. But for some reason, we also put a ضمير before the fi'l. Now, how to put a ضمير before the fi'l? We put إياي. الله المستعان. إياي فاتقون. طيب. Likewise, in the Quran, where else do we have إياه? وإياي فارهبون وإياي فاتقون بل إياه تدعون. طيب, Allah says in the Quran بل إياه تدعون. Now, for some reason, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the dhamir, the objective case dhamir before the fi'l. The fi'l is tad'una. طيب? So, if, let's say, in a sentence that is not the Quran, if you want to put this dhamir along with the fi'l, how would we say it? بل تدعون
Nahu.
تدعونه أحسنت. طيب. So we took this dhamir away from here and we wanted to put it before the fi'l. So in order to put it before the fi'l, we have to put it in the form of إياه. بل إياه تدعون. بل إياه تدعون. طيب. Is there anywhere else in the Quran that we have إياه يا شباب? Anyone? طيب. Many times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about the children, يعني ولا تقتلوا أولادكم من إملاق. ولا تقتلوا أولادكم من إملاق نحن نرزقكم وإياهم. طيب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says نحن نرزقكم وإياهم. طيب يا أخوان. Firstly, translate نرزقكم. نرزقكم. Firstly, translate this, then we'll move on to إياهم. طيب يلا, what is the translation نرزقكم? كيف؟
We provide you all. For you all. Rizq.
طيب, we provide to you all. طيب. نرزقكم. Where did you get the we from?
Noon.
You knew it from the noon. However, when there is noon, it means that there is this hidden pronoun that is نحن. It's hidden. It's not apparent. It's hidden. صح يا عثمان?
صح.
It's hidden. It's hidden as نحن. طيب. We provide to you all. How did you get this? Where did you get this you all from?
Kum.
طيب. هم. ممتاز. طيب. We provide to you all, or we provide you all with the rizq, مثلا. وإياهم, and them. طيب. Now here, because of the and, we could not connect the next dhamir with the fi'l. If you could see, and if you could notice here, the fi'l is with kum. Now, because we are adding a waw here, we could not connect the next dhamir mansoob with the fi'l. Had we been able to connect it with the fi'l, how would we put it then? نحن نرزق, يعني نحن نرزقكم ونرزقهم. نرزقهم. But for some reason, because we used a conjunction, a harf عطف, we could not put them dhamir along with the fi'l. And hence we had to use a dhamir munfasil, because we are unable to put it with the fi'l. We are unable to put it next to the fi'l. We have to use a dhamir munfasil. So what is the alternative from the dhamair munfasila for whom? The alternative from the dhamair munfasila for whom is إياهم. إياهم. طيب. عرفتم يا شباب? Is this clear now? Is it getting clearer, inshallah?
And Sheikh, if we use نحن نرزقهم, then we say وإياكم.
In another place, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, ولا تقتلوا أولادكم خشية إملاق نحن نرزقهم وإياكم. طيب, now here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the dhamir for the third person first, and the need for the separation for the separate dhamir was for the dhamir of the second person. So if we did not use this waw, we would have said narzuqukum. But because there is a waw, we need a separate dhamir, as we cannot join this dhamir to the fi'l. Because we cannot join this dhamir to the fi'l, we have to say wa iyyakum. Is it getting clear, inshallah?
Inshallah, Sheikh.
طيب, واضح يا طيب, why نحن is added at the beginning if we are using narzuqum? ممتاز, for emphasis, exactly for emphasis. Because Allah says وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَوْلَادَكُمْ خَشْيَةَ إِمْلَاقٍ, don't kill them out of fear of poverty. We are the ones. Yani, in order to add emphasis that it is us who provides for you. نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُكُمْ, and it's us. Yani, who are you to fear for the rizq? Why are you fearing for rizq? It is us who provide you, and we will provide for your children as well. Yani, who are you to think or fear for your rizq? It is your rizq and your children's rizq. All of it is in Allah's hands. So it's to add emphasis. It's to add emphasis. Else there was no need of using nahnu, because within narzuqu there is a pronoun that is hidden, which is nahnu. واضح يا إخوان إن شاء الله. طيب.
Inshallah.
Okay, I just want a confirmation from all the students if it's واضح, all of it is clear, inshallah, or most of it is clear.
Yes, clear. Alhamdulillah.
طيب, any other students, please, if they could confirm in the chats if it's clear, inshallah. Or do they have any questions regarding this? طيب, I hope that there are no questions. Taking it slowly. طيب, taking it slowly. I should take it slowly, or I am taking it too slowly. I should go faster. Can you clarify? Jazakallah khair. Right. So we are done with the dhamair. We are done with the dhamair. The only thing that I didn't mention was the dhamair that are similar to the mansub, the ones that are majroor, that are used with the prepositions. So it's the same. For example, for dhamir mansub, you would say يعني ضربني, you would use the ya, and he beat me. Likewise with min, for example, with the prepositions, you would use the same dhamir, يعني minni. If we can practice more examples in the class, it'll be easy to learn. Inshallah, abshir. Right. Okay, right now I just don't want to get you guys confused, so let's just not discuss the dhamair majroora, the ones that are used along with the prepositions, with ala and ila and min and fi. So let's just avoid confusion for now. This just suffice with these dhamair, mansuba and marfu'a. طيب. Now, for example, just let me give a few more examples, inshallah. Okay. We want to say that Allah provides rizq for, but Allah provides rizq for them, female. How to translate this into Arabic?
Allahu yarzuquhunna.
ممتاز. الله يرزقهن. استغفر الله. يرزقهن. طيب يا أخي. Where did we get the hunna from?
Them.
ممتاز. طيب, أحسنت. Okay. Okay, طيب. Let's have another example for, let's say, okay. Help me with the examples. Some ayahs, yalla. طيب, we want to say we worship Allah. How to say that?
نعبد الله.
نعبد الله. نعبد الله. طيب. Okay. Where is the we? Where did the we go? Yeah, Uthman.
نع. Noon in the beginning.
طيب. But the ضمير in reality is hidden. The نحن is hidden within نعبد. The noon, it denotes, it gives us an indication that there is a ضمير hidden within it, that is نحن. نعبد نحن الله. طيب. Okay, let's give someone else a chance. يلا. Okay, what examples do we have? Okay. Any examples يا شباب؟ طيب, سبحان الله, any easy examples. طيب, let's say they, يعني male, they all are eating fish, let's say. كيف نقول هذا بالعربية? Someone else, someone other than Uthman. What is the suitable word to use for they all are eating? طبعا for eating we use the root همزة كاف لام أكل. طيب, بسم الله.
يأكلون.
يأكلون. أحسنتم. طيب, بارك الله فيكم. يأكلون. يأكلون ماذا؟
سمك.
السمكة مثلا. They are eating fish. سمكة or سمك. They are eating. If you want to say they are eating it and you want to refer to the samak, how are we going to say they are eating it? The fish.
يأكلونها.
أحسنت. يأكلونها, because the fish is feminine. سمكة. So we're going to look for mufrad in the objective nouns, pronouns, the mufrad, and muannas, third person. يأكلونها. طيب. Okay. So one final example, then we move on to the next topic, inshallah. مثلا she wrote a letter. Let's give it, let's say message, يعني رسالة. How are we going to say this? Letter رسالة. She wrote a letter.
هي كتبت رسالة.
كتبت. أحسنت.
هي أيوه.
كتبت رسالة. طيب. Now instead of saying she wrote a letter, I want to say she wrote it. كيف أقوله? And I'm referring to the رسالة.
كتبتها.
كتبتها. ممتاز, because the رسالة is feminine in general. طيب, كتبتها. ممتاز. طيب, this is inshallah with further practice going to be easier for everyone بإذن الله تعالى. طيب, so where are we again? Let's just find ourselves in the right place again. We were discussing, first we discussed the word, it's divided into ism, fi'al, and harf. Then we discussed that the ism, there are multiple classifications for ism. One is that ism is divided into mudhakkar and muannas. Then we have that ism is divided into mufrad, muthanna, and jami'. And then we have that ism is divided into ma'rifa and nakar. Within ma'rifa, ya shabab, there are six things that are ma'rifa. So the dhamir is a ma'rifa, the alam is a ma'rifa, the ism al-ishara is a ma'rifa, the ism al-mawsul is ma'rifa, al-mu'arraf bi-al is ma'rifa, al-mudaf ila ma'rifa is ma'rifa. What are these things? We'll be discussing later on. Right now we are done with dhamir. We are done with dhamir, alhamdulillah. Now we will be moving on to the alam. What is alam? Proper noun. This is one of the easier topics. Out of all of these six, the most difficult one was dhamir. And the most complicated and the longest one was dhamir. So inshallah, good things are ahead. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. The difficult one, we are done with it. Al-alam. طيب من يقرأ؟ في أحد يقرأ؟
طيب أقرأ إن شاء الله.
طيب يلا اقرأ.
العلم.
بسم الله والحمد لله.
معليش. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين. قال المصنف غفر الله له العلم. وأما العلم فهو نحو محمد وأحمد ومكة وطيبة والقصواء وهكذا.
طيب, there's alam, proper noun. We know what is proper noun, صح? Everyone knows what is a proper noun. صحيح ولا يحتاج إلى شرح؟
إن شاء الله تمام.
خلاص. The alam is proper noun. يعني the name of a particular person, proper noun. Ahmad, Muhammad, Makkah, Taiba. What is Taiba the name of?
Female.
لا بس what is it? Taiba is the name
Medina.
for what? Medina. نعم نعم. It's a city. Medina. نعم. And it can also be used for يعني females. نعم. Females can be named Taiba. صحيح. والقصواء. قصواء. What was قصواء?
She camel.
Of
Rasulullah sallallahu
alayhi wasallam. So not every she camel is qaswa. It was the name of the she camel of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam wa hakada. طيب. All of the students, their names are proper nouns. They are alam. Ahmad is alam. Fahmi Nasr. Fahmi is alam. Nasr is alam. Kamal, Nadir. All of these are a'lam. Talha is alam. Abdul Muhsin alam. وهكذا. عثمان is alam. Abdul Ahad alam. كل هذه أعلام. All of these are proper nouns. Names of people, names of places. Mecca, Al-Madinah, Al-Riyadh. مثلا what else do we have? يعني what القدس وهكذا. وكذلك يعني names of if there are animals who have names, for example القصواء وهكذا يعني different other animals that have names. What was the name of the I forgot the name of the donkey of سبحان الله نسيت الآن. على كل حال.
Uzair alayhi salam?
لا استغفر الله. I'm asking about I'm thinking of a donkey that Mu'adh radiallahu anhu was rode with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam on a donkey. It had a name. I forgot the name of that donkey. Subhanallah. على كل حال. Okay. So these are a'lam, these are proper nouns. So we are done with in ma'rifah, we are done with dhamir, we are done with proper nouns that are alam. Now coming to the third type of ma'rifah, that is ismul ishara, demonstrative pronoun. What is that? What is this? Like in English, we use the words this and that and these and those. Right? These are in English. In Arabic, we have just يعني an additional classification, that is mudhakkar and mu'annath. So in English, we don't have mudhakkar mu'annath. For mudhakkar, we use this. For mu'annath, we use this. But in Arabic, we have يعني different asma al-ishara for mudhakkar and different for al-mu'annath. As for qarib and ba'id, for يعني nearby objects and farther objects, we have this classification in English as well as in Arabic. طيب. فماذا يقول المصنف يا أحمد؟ أما اسم الإشارة؟
وأما اسم الإشارة فهو نحو ذلك وأولئك.
ما معنى ذلك? What is the meaning of ذلك? How do we translate ذلك? ذات. أحسنت. وأولئك
Those.
those. أحسنت ممتاز. طيب وينقسم إلى
مذكر ومؤنث وكل منها ينقسم إلى بعيد وقريب.
ممتاز. طيب إذا اسم الإشارة إما مذكر إما مؤنث. It's either مذكر or مؤنث. And then each of مذكر and مؤنث is either قريب or بعيد. طيب how are these or how are we يعني these we are supposed to يعني memorize these. يعني these don't need much explanation. We're supposed to memorize these. طيب. So for example for a nearby object we say هذا if it is مذكر. But if it is مؤنث we would say هذه. ممتاز. طيب هذا وهذه. طيب if we have an object that is far away from us and it's مذكر we would use the word ذلك. مثلا if there is a kitab, so what will we say? That kitab is يعني that book. How will we say that book?
ذلك الكتاب.
طيب. And if you want to say that car, how would we say that car?
تلك السيارة.
تلك السيارة. ذلك الكتاب. تلك السيارة. Why did we use تلك with the سيارة?
Because سيارة is female.
أحسنت. ممتاز. طيب. Okay. We have a group of men who are standing nearby. How would we point towards them? Men.
هؤلاء الرجال.
هؤلاء الرجال. طيب. Now we have a group of women standing nearby. How would we point towards them?
هؤلاء النساء.
طيب. And how would we translate هؤلاء النساء in English?
Those women.
No. هؤلاء قريب. This is for قريب.
These women.
These women. أحسنت. طيب. Now we have a group of men standing far away. So how are we going to point towards them?
أولئك الرجال.
ممتاز. طيب. A group of women standing far away.
أولئك النساء.
ممتاز. طيب. And in English how would we say it?
Those women.
طيب. Okay. Now do you notice something that Uthman in each of the sentences that he made, he used al with the thing that is being pointed towards. ذلك الكتاب تلك السيارة. طيب. هؤلاء الرجال ومثلا هؤلاء النساء. That means that object that you're pointing towards must be ma'rifah. You must use al along with it. You must use al along with it. If you are pointing towards something and you are saying that book or that car or those men or these men or these women, then you must use al along with it. طيب. But if you want to, let's just keep this way. Let's just keep this way. So for example, now let me give you, if you want to say in Arabic, this pen, someone other than Uthman, this pen, how will we say it in Arabic? This pen.
هذا القلم.
هذا القلم. طيب. Even those who want to participate from the chat, they could write in English. ما في مشكلة. They can write هذا HADHA ما في إشكال. طيب. هذا القلم. طيب. هذا القلم. Okay. You want to say this? Okay. Anything. For example, this table. How will we say this table? طبعا table is طاولة مثلا.
هذه الطاولة.
هذه الطاولة. This table, then you are going to talk about. طيب. هذه الطاولة. طيب. هذه الطاولة. هذا الطاولة خطأ. هذه الطاولة because of طاولة being a feminine in gender. طيب. A brother asked a very interesting question. He said, can we say that is a book in Arabic instead of that is the book? طيب. Here, ya akhi, the sentences or parts of sentences that we are making right now, these are not complete sentences. This table is not a complete sentence. We are yet to mention the predicate. And what about this table? This table مثلا, is big, or this car is small. So we were just translating this part of the sentence, this table, this car. What you are asking for about is that is a book. This is a complete sentence. In this case, ya akhi, we would not say ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ, because we're not saying this book, we're saying that is a book. We're not saying that book is big, we're saying that is a book. So when you want to give some information about that book, you would say ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ كَبِيرٌ. You want to give some information about it. But when you are saying that that is a book, you would rather say ذَلِكَ كِتَابٌ without al. عرفت يا أخي؟ طيب. So when you are pointing towards something and going to tell something about it, yani you're using that as a subject. For example, let me just repeat this again. There's a difference between that book is big and that is a book. There's a difference between the two. In the first one, we will say ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ كَبِيرٌ. And the second one, we will say ذَلِكَ كِتَابٌ. ذَلِكَ كِتَابٌ. So al is not always important. It depends on your intention. So when you are saying that book and then you want to tell something about it, you would use al with it. But if you want to say that is a book, then in that case you will have to use a tanween without al. So let me give you another example. Let's say this car is big and this is a car. There is a difference between the two sentences. Can you tell the difference between the two sentences? In the first one, this car is the subject. The whole of it is a subject. This is a subject. What are we telling about the subject? What is the predicate? Is big. In the second sentence, this is the subject only, and we are telling something about, informing something about this pointed object, that it is a car, the object that we are pointing towards. How will we translate the first sentence?
هذه السيارة كبيرة.
هذه السيارة كبيرة. And how will we translate the second sentence?
هذه سيارة.
هذه سيارة. What if this is a big car? طيب هذه سيارة كبيرة. هكذا. So inshallah this will come with practice. If this is a big car, هذه سيارة كبيرة. طيب. Okay. One last example for the Asma al-Ishara. These men are, let's say, strong. These are men. مثلا. So how are you going to translate the first one?
هذه الرجال قوي.
لا هذه خطأ حبيبي فين؟
هذه هؤلاء الرجال
أي نعم.
قوي.
هؤلاء الرجال قوي خطأ. هؤلاء الرجال أقوياء. طبعا this is difficult. It's okay. How will you translate these are men?
هؤلاء رجال.
هؤلاء الرجال. لا الرجال خطأ. These are men. هؤلاء رجال. These are men. طيب, it's a little difficult. It's fine. It's fine. Inshallah, you'll get it with time. With time, you'll get it. With practice and time. The key to learning grammar is not to attend hours and hours of lectures. The key to learning grammar is to practice. When you get back home or when you have free time, practice as much as you can. This is the key to learning grammar. Let's say a person attends all of these classes and practices nothing, compared to a person who misses out on a few classes but he has lots of practice and catches up a little, gets the concept quickly, practices a lot, he's going to be better in grammar than the first one. Just attending, it's not going to be enough, inshallah. Along with practice, you will master the grammar. طيب. A brother says, طلحة أخونا طلحة يقول, what if someone wants to say this is the car? طيب. يا شباب, who's going to tell? This is the car. How are we going to say this is the car?
هذه الكتاب سيارة.
نعم, هذه السيارة. Because now you want to use the car, so you're going to translate it this way. هذه السيارة. This is the car. So you would say this is the car, you would use هذه السيارة. And if you want to say, for example, this car is nice, for example. So you'd say again, هذه السيارة حسنة. واضح يا شباب? Is it clear إن شاء الله?
Yes, إن شاء الله.
طيب. So for now, those who are new to اسم الإشارة, for them I'd recommend to just ignore the ones for مثنى. Ignore the صيغ and the forms for مثنى, and just concentrate on مفرد and جمع. طيب. Those who are new. And those who are, mashallah, they have done grammar before, يعني لا بد أن تحفظوا صيغ المثنى أيضا. You have to memorize the words for مثنى as well. تمام يا إخوة? It is a must. طيب. Also, let me remind you, طيب, we had just said this before as well. Make a notebook for vocabulary. You have to memorize. Start memorizing from now. From the last class onwards, we had lots of stuff to memorize, lots of things to memorize. So start memorizing from now onwards. Keep practicing. And one of the best ways to memorize is to write things down. So fill those tables again and again that we have mentioned here. Inshallah, I'll send you an empty table for the objective pronouns as well as for the اسم الإشارة, so you could practice again and again. This is one of the best ways to memorize. And what was the third point that we had mentioned last week? Well, I forgot. على كل حال, so notebook for vocabulary, lots of memorization, inshallah, lots of practice. طيب. This is اسم الإشارة. So here, where are we again? Let me just remind you. We are in معرفة, and in معرفة we are done with ضمير, we are done with علم, we're done with اسم الإشارة. طيب. We're done with all of these. Now let's have a 10-minute break, or let's say 7-minute break, because it's not much until Maghrib. Just 7-minute break in order for you to process all of this information in your head, and then inshallah we'll do al-ism al-mawsul and al-mu'arraf bi-al before we end the session, inshallah. Okay? All right? 7-minute break. Allah yabarik fikum. نعم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء سيد المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. Back to where we were in معرفة, ضمير done, علم done, اسم الإشارة is done as well. So we have something now that is called الاسم الموصول. الاسم الموصول. نبدأ بالاسم الموصول from the next PDF. الاسم الموصول. وأما الاسم الموصول. نعم يا أحمد تقرأ.
خلاص نسمعك أنت يا شيخ.
طيب يلا. الاسم الموصول. وأما الاسم الموصول فهو نحو من وما والذي وتوابعه. طيب. وتوابعه مفروض. طيب. It's okay. اسم الموصول is the one in that we translate in English as who or what. يعني that مثلا in the Quran Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says مثلا الذي خلق 7 سماوات. طيب. how will we translate الذي?
The one who.
أحسنت. Or he who. The one who
The
or he who created. الذي خلق سبع سماوات. طيب, so الذي here is اسم الاسم الموصول. In English we would يعني say the who here is a relative pronoun. A relative pronoun. طيب. We have, just like الذي, we have man and ma as well. So for example, in the Quran مثلا we have مثلا, it's also used as اسم استفهام. It's the same thing. بالتقريب. طيب مثلا هذا ما توعدون. This is what you have been promised. هذا ما توعدون. طيب, how do you translate it? What is the translation of this ayah?
This is what you have been promised.
طيب, this is what you have been promised. But where is the ism mawsul here in Arabic?
Ma.
Ma ahsantum. And in English, the translation for ma is, where is it?
What?
أحسنت بارك الله فيك. This is what you have been promised. هذا ما توعدون. طيب, هذا ما توعدون. طيب, ممتاز جدا. Can someone give me an example for man in the Quran? From the Quran?
من خشي الرحمن بالغيب.
طيب, أحسنت, ممتاز. من خشي الرحمن. استغفر الله العظيم. من خشي الرحمن بالغيب. طيب, كيف نترجم هذا? How will we translate this?
Who fears the merciful?
The one who
is mercy.
feared the who الرحمن. Just say this, الرحمن. طيب, one who feared الرحمن بالغيب, from the unseen. طيب. Okay, where is the اسم موصول in Arabic?
Man.
Man, أحسنت. And where is its translation?
The one who.
أحسنت بارك الله فيك. The one who is, this is the relative pronoun. So this is what we are talking about. Man, ma, and الذي. طبعا الذي is used for a mufrad, for a singular male. If we come to a female, and if we talk about a female, let's say something that is a feminine, that has feminine gender, whether it's an object or it's a living thing, what is the word that we use? التي. يقول الله عز وجل عن مريم عليها السلام والتي أحصنت فرجها. والتي أحصنت فرجها. طيب. But when it comes to ma and man, we don't use different words. We use the same word for females, for males. But when it comes to alladhi, we have separate words for a male, we have separate words for a female, we have separate words for muthanna, we have separate words for jam'. عرفتم? But when it comes to ma and man, we don't have separate words neither for male nor female, nor muthanna, nor mufrad, nor jam'. Hence, we say, نقول والاسم الموصول. أما الاسم الموصول فهو نحو من وما والذي وتوابعه. فأما من, as for man, فأما من, as for man, as for man, فإنه يختص بالعاقل. It is exclusive to that which is عاقل, يعني living thing that is عاقل, like إنسان. طيب, ويشترك فيه and المذكر المؤنث المفرد المثنى الجمع, all are included in man. يعني man can be used for مذكر, it can be used for مؤنث, it can be used for مفرد, it can be used for مثنى, it can be used for جمع. واضح؟ Is that clear إن شاء الله؟
نعم شيخ.
Likewise, ma. Ma can be used for مذكر, for مؤنث, for مفرد, for مثنى, for جمع. However, it is exclusive to يختص بغير العاقل. It's specific for غير العاقل. It's specific for غير العاقل. طيب, like for example, for example, for objects or for things or for animals, for example, or many living things that are not عاقل. طيب, this is an additional فائدة. طيب, if you are unable to learn it, you can leave it. طيب, sometimes ما is used not just for غير العاقل, sometimes it's used for عاقل as well. That is when you want to highlight the characteristics of the person, not himself. Not the person himself is that you want to highlight. Rather, you want to highlight the characteristics of that thing or that being. So, for example, Fir'aun, when asking Musa alayhi salam about Allah, he said, وَمَا رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ. He should have said, وَمَنْ رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ. صح ولا لا? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is عاقل مثلا. It's not it's not an Allah is not an object. It's not treated like an object. He's addressed with the صيغ of عاقل. So we say مثلا من رب العالمين. He should have said من رب العالمين, but he said وما رب العالمين. Why did he say وما رب العالمين? Because he's inquiring about the characteristics and attributes of this being that is the Lord of the worlds, which is why Musa alayhi salam in his answer says, he tells Fir'aun about the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Likewise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, فَانْكِحُوا مَا طَابَ لَكُم مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ. Marry those whom you find good from amongst the women. طيب, why is ma used here? Women are men, طبعا. But when you want to highlight the characteristics of someone more than the person himself, you use ma. You use what? You use ma. واضح يا شباب يا إخوة? Is that clear إن شاء الله يا إخوان أخوات؟
إن شاء الله واضح.
طيب, ممتاز. So in reality, ma is not just for غير العاقل. It's also when you want to highlight the attributes, the صفات of the aqil. So when you want to highlight the صفات and not the person himself, when you want to refer to the صفات and not the person, when you want to refer to the صفات and not the موصوف, then you also use ma for aqil. طيب. As for الذي and الذي's sisters and brothers, that are التي, اللذين, اللذان, الذين, اللاتي, etc. As for الذي and its brothers, وتوابعه, its partners and its its sisters, فإنها تستخدم. It is used. فإنها تستخدم is used للعاقل وغير العاقل. It's used for عاقل and for غير العاقل. So here in man we had this differentiation between عاقل and غير عاقل. Likewise in ma. But in الذي we don't have this differentiation between عاقل and غير عاقل. However, we have a differentiation and distinction when it comes to مذكر and مؤنث, and when it comes to مفرد and مثنى and جمع. So we said جنس and عدد. So how do you do that, or what is that? What are the different صيغ that are used? For مذكر we use الذي in مفرد, in مثنى اللذان or اللذين, depending on its إعراب, whether it's a subjective case or objective case. And for جمع we always use الذين. For مؤنث we use التي, and in جمع we use اللاتي. And we also use another word in جمع which I didn't mention because it could be confused for objective case. It's not objective case, it's just another variation of allati, that is allai. Allai. So I want the students to add this by themselves. Allati and allai. This is the other word that is used for jama. Allai. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has used both in the Quran. Wallai ya'isna min al-mahid min nisaikum. طيب. وَلَاتِي تَخَافُونَ نُشُوزَهُنَّ. So Allah is used وَلَاتِي and Allah is used اللَّائِي. Both are correct. Both give the same meaning. So this is الَّذِي and الَّذِينَ and الَّتِي and اللَّاتِي. طبعا for beginners, they should avoid مُثَنَّى for now and concentrate on mufrad and jam' for now. Later on, inshallah, they can memorize the muthanna as well. Or it will come, inshallah, with the practice with the reading of Quran. You notice the different words being used, inshallah. Right. Just before we end the session, inshallah, I just wanted to finish al-mu'arraf bi-al because it's small and it's easy. Al-mu'arraf bi-al يقول هو ما كان نكرة فزيد فيه al. It is هو. And now I used ism al-mawsul. I said ma kana. It is what. This is ism al-mawsul. What was a nakira. Fazida. So it was increased in it, or it added to it. What was added to it? Al. Al was added to it. Fazida fihi al. ليصير to become معرفة to become معرفة. نحو الكتاب الماء القلم البقرة. طيب, how were they before al? What was kitab before al? هاي شباب, كيف كان الكتاب قبل al؟
كتاب.
أحسنت. طيب, وكيف كان الماء قبل al؟
ماء.
أحسنت. والقلم كيف كان قبل ال؟
قلم.
والبقرة كيف كانت قبل ال؟
بقرة.
بقرة مثلا.
بقرة.
أحسنتم. طيب, فماذا فعلنا? What did we do? أضفنا وزدنا فيه ال. It was nakira indefinite. بقرة, any بقرة. Any قلم. قلم, any قلم. A قلم. ماء, any water. Any body of water. طيب. كتاب, any book. But when we added al to it, it became the book, the water, the pen, the cow. Al-kitab, يعني كتاب معين, a particular one. This is called al-mu'arraf bi-al. This is called al-mu'arraf bi-al. يعني that nakira to which we added al to make it a ma'rifah. Remember the ضابط of nakira, right? Nakira is something that can accept al. When it accepts al, it becomes ma'rifah. So this is the fifth type of ma'rifah, that is al-mu'arraf bi-al. طيب, فهكذا بهذا إن شاء الله الحمد لله نكون انتهينا. We are done with 5 of the types of al-ma'rifah. So we have in al-ma'rifah مثلا here I mentioned. We are done with يا إخوان with all of the ma'rifah with ضمير, with alam, with ism al-ishara, with al-ism al-mawsul, wal-mu'arraf bi-al. All 5 are done, and inshallah we're left with al-mudaf ila ma'rifah only, along with the i'rab of the asma. In the next class, inshallah, we're going to finish this as well. In order to avoid confusion, we just went a little slow. But the most important thing for all of the students is, ya ikhwan, ya akhawat, that you make sure that you practice these 5 before the next session. If you don't practice, you are only going to cause yourself more confusion. You're only going to cause yourself more confusion. In these classes of Nahw, practice is a must. If you don't practice what you have learned in the previous class, خلاص, يعني then insa, you can forget that you will master Nahw. Because if you don't practice, you will only get confused as we progress. So it's very important to practice, to master, or يعني at least يعني do well in what you have learned in the previous sessions, and then move on. Because Nahw is built يعني little by little, and each part of Nahw depends on what you have learned in the previous classes. هذا وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.